Hey guys, my name's Dan,
I'm Rob.
and today we're going to talk about our top 5 games from our childhood.
Yes, we are.
This is something a bit different. We've never done anything like this before.
No, yeah. So excuse the badness.
Yeah, the badnickness of it. We're gonna try and do more of these kind of things. We've had some ideas for other ones, but the way we're gonna do it is kind of like in a sort of chilled, laid-back, podcasty vibe.
Yeah.
Where we're just shooting the shit and just talking about stuff. So hopefully you enjoy. So here we go. 5. So my number 5 slot for this particular list is Super Mario Bros. 2 for the NES. Which is a weird one because really, you know, if you want to talk about a Mario game, you either talk about Super Mario Bros. Or Super Mario Bros. 3. Because they're the better ones. Super Mario Bros. 2 isn't all that great. But I remember I used to play it so much, like if I ever played on my NES. And when I had an NES, I wasn't a gamer. It was just a toy that I had. And I would occasionally play it. So it was just the one I went to. I used to play it on this little portable black and white TV as well. So it was in black and white.
Yeah.
But there was just something about it. Was just because I think it was because it was so strange that you just go around throwing turnips, and it was all very wacky and weird. But I think the thing that's, I mean, for one, you could play as Toad, and I love Toad because he's just a mushroom tip. And yeah, you could play as Toad, which I really enjoyed. And I think it was like the enemies was so weird. And my main memory of Super Mario Bros. 2 was looking at the instruction manual and like drawing all the pictures.
Yeah,
I used to draw from so many like instruction manuals, copying the characters and all that.
I used to do the same.
And Super Mario Bros. 2 was the one I drew the most because I think the enemies were just so strange and weird, and I dug it. I dug it completely. It was great, and the music, man, it was great. I loved it. Playing it now, I've never beaten it. I can't do it. It's so hard. But I don't know. I think because I don't know. The other Super Mario Bros. 3 was quite similar to other games that I had, and that one, like I say, was just a bit different and weird. It just sticks in me head, brain mate. So yeah, it's Super Mario Bros. 2. If you've not played it, play it. Best game ever. Even though it's at number 5. 5.
Oh well, yeah. My number 5 is Grand Theft Auto Vice City.
A good childhood game.
Yeah, a good
for children.
A good game for all the family. I think it was
Different
2000.
time,
yeah, because obviously we did it up to sort of 12, didn't we?
Yeah. That was because 13 is technically a teenager.
Yeah.
That you're not. But yeah. Anyway.
But so I think it came out 2002. But I remember getting it for Christmas.
For your birthday?
Yeah, my birthday. And I was playing on it Christmas morning, and I was just driving. I wasn't really doing any missions or anything. I was just driving down the street, knocking lampposts over, killing pedestrians. And my grandma was engrossed in what I was doing, and she was like, "Why are you like running these people over? And why aren't the police chasing you? Because you just mowed down a crowd of pedestrians and whatever." But it was one of the first sort of story-driven games, if you like, that I actually went out of my way to complete. I made a purpose of completing it. I didn't do all the extra stunts or anything like that. But the story.
You'd be there forever.
Yeah, the story mode I did complete a bit. And the thing I remember most about it now is the soundtrack. But I don't know. Yeah, it is a great soundtrack. But it was just, I don't know. I think because you had Ray Liotta doing the voice for Tommy and stuff like that, it was just an over-the-top exaggeration of 80s Miami, but it worked. And
it was
it was just fun to play. It was fun to play, and I'd have been 12 at the time I played it, and I was just like, I'd played Grand Theft Auto 3, but I wasn't really that fussed. And I played the other Grand Theft Autos, and to be fair, I've not played one since really, like properly. But I don't feel the need to. It just it's just contained in this kind of ball in my life.
Yeah, I mean, I've never really gotten into GTA, even though they're really fun. But it's, I mean, like we were saying yesterday, like, you do the missions and you're having a great time, and then you get bored of doing that. Yeah. So then you go and dick about for a bit, and then you get bored of doing that. Boring. And then you do this, and I always feel like I only go back and forth so far. Yeah. But Vice City, I think, would be the one I would play because of its 80s theme and everything. It kind of feels like it's not real. Yeah. Like the other ones try to be more realistic than that, but this is just the 80s, and nothing actually happened in the 80s. It didn't exist. It couldn't have existed. Yeah. Got Rick Astley, mate.
Yeah, exactly. It was just, I don't know. It's the only one, like I said, I've ever completed. I have sort of played the others. I've never owned them. I've borrowed them off friends and whatever. But yeah, it's just, it doesn't ever capture that magic. Maybe because of the time I played it, but it is just genuinely good. It's the one I would say if anybody says, "Oh, I'm going to play GTA," just go for Vice City. That's all you need. So yeah, that's my number 5.
4. My number 4 is a bit of a cheat one. It's 2 games.
Up, down, left, right, and start together.
That one, or I can't remember the command code.
No, I didn't leave it.
Anyway, but yeah, my number four is 2. It's 2 games. I was holding up 4 things then. It's 2 games, because I couldn't, for the reason of it, I couldn't pick between the 2. I couldn't choose one over the other.
Right.
And it goes to 2 Super Nintendo games, Top Gear and Super Mario Kart.
No, the first Super Mario Kart.
First Super Mario Kart, the original Super Mario Kart. Mainly because it was both racing games, so one's a racing game and one's Mario Kart.
Well, yeah.
But it basically, because my uncle on my mum's side was a big part of me getting into games. He owned a Super Nintendo when I had an NES. So I was playing all these big fancy 16-bit games and all that. And
like
he's a big...
HD.
Is that what?
It was like going HD.
Oh yeah, without a doubt. That's a story for a different time. I was going to go into something else. But yeah, so Top Gear, Super Mario Kart, and they both have 2-player. You play them at the same time. And they were both games that me, my uncle, and my sister, we would play together. We try and we sort of co-op them. So like Mario Kart was like, oh, don't get me, like with red shells and all that kind of stuff. But we played them together, and we mostly played them when we'd go on family holidays, because we usually went on big family trips. So it was usually my immediate family, and then it was usually my mum's side would then come with us as well. So you're going on a caravan holiday. Yeah, you've gone to not Scarborough. Where's the
like Skegness?
Yeah, maybe Skegness.
Like Whitby or something like that.
Yeah, places around. Yeah, in your little caravan. And you've gone out. You've had a 1 day out, and it's been great. And then the next day, we live in England. So then, oh look, it's raining outside.
Yeah.
So, and my uncle was a big kid. Basically, he was just he played video games. He liked tech and all that kind of stuff. So he kind of got the role of sort of babysitter, but never felt like he minded that he had to look after the kids or whatever, because we just played Top Gear with its awesome soundtrack, and it's nothing but hills and corners and everything. Using nitro to go like flat out on the flat bits and banging into the back of cars because you couldn't go around them and all that. It was playing that, and only ever really getting to South America, which is the second cup, basically. Only getting there, but we try and remember the password. Moonbath is the first password to get there. We knew that one inside and out, and we're just playing it over and over again, but really enjoying it, trying the different... There's only 4 cars, but trying the different ones and all that, and it's great. And Super Mario Kart, it's Super Mario Kart. I mean, anyone who played it when they were a kid, it's just... It was just cheating. You cheated so much. The overriding memory I have of it is that, because I would always play as Toad, because I love Toad, with his mushroom tip. And my sister was always Luigi, and that has stayed a constant. Whenever she plays a Mario game, she has to be Luigi. She likes to be player 2, basically. Yeah, and my uncle used to be Koopa Trooper, and Koopa Trooper and Toad they're in the same weight class. So our enemy, it always seemed when we played it, because it was always the same computer ones where you like your rivals, whichever character you were. We basically had Princess Toadstool, or Peach as she's now called, and it was usually, if my sister wasn't playing, it was Luigi. Or Donkey Kong Jr. or something, and they have like infinite items that they just throw at you constantly. Yeah. So the princess throws poison mushrooms at you, which we used to call cakes. I don't know why.
Cake.
And you were constantly shrinking because she throws them right in you.
Straight
where you drive,
and then the way it handles, you cannot go around it.
And you shrink. And then my uncle always used to make me laugh because he would just always be like, "Oh, that tart! She's shrunk me again." It was great, and then the final mirror for Super Mario Kart was, I mean, my sister was the queen of Mario Kart. She was so good at it, and she was the one who beat Rainbow Road. She was the only one of us who beat Rainbow Road.
Imaginary.
I don't think I can't play Super Mario Kart. I really struggled playing now because I played all the other ones. And it's so different and weird, but I will always love it for being Super Mario Kart, but I don't like playing it now so much. But
no, I must admit,
my sister is the only one of my family who has beaten Super Mario Kart. So, good job, sis. You did good. But yeah, Super Mario Kart and Top Gear is my number 4. I know that's kind of cheating, but it makes sense later on, I suppose.
They're both racing games.
Both racing games. I thought you were going to say they're both racist games. I was like, whoa!
No. Would I ever say that?
I think so.
4. Oh well, my number 4 is not a racing game. My number 4 is Time Splitters.
Time Splitters.
The first one. I remember buying it. I actually bought it from a car boot sale.
Car boot.
Call it car boot sale.
Car boots when you actually used to be able to buy stuff from a car boot.
Yeah, that like worked.
Yeah, now it's just tap.
Yeah, basically. Yeah.
eBay.
It's just, yeah, that's where all the good shit is. But yeah, I got Time Splitters. I can't remember exactly what time of year I got it, but anyway. I remember the 6 weeks holidays that preceded me buying it. All me and my cousins did was we didn't have a memory card, so we would play the campaign. Me, my cousin Alex, and my cousin Sophie. We play the campaign, unlock the characters, and then just play multiplayer for the rest of the day. And obviously, you played the multiplayer. It's just fucking chaos.
Yeah.
Playing it again, it feels like a multiplayer game that's had a campaign shoved into it.
Yeah, that's what I thought, because all the levels, aren't they, basically?
Yeah.
Get this and return here, and they're not very big. But then when we were playing, I was expecting them in the multiplayer the levels to be small, because I've never actually played it. I've always known of Time Splits, but I never actually played it until yesterday. And and I thought the levels were going to be smaller versions of those, but no, it's just the level.
It's just the level.
So it does feel like it was great fun. It's
Yeah.
a green zombie kept killing me.
Yeah, he's a
bastard.
bad.
And teeth zombie. Who's teeth zombie?
I don't know.
Has he got zombie teeth, or is he a zombie with teeth? It's a question we'll never know. Or the answer we'll never know. But
yeah, I remember playing. You used to get the dual Uzis and just shoot fucking everything. But it was great fun. I remember it being great fun, and it was great fun to play a little bit sort of yesterday. But I don't think I'd go back to it and rinse it like I used to. I'd probably do like 2 or 3 levels, save it and come away, because it's got that Half-Life. You walk is at fucking sprint pace.
Yeah, you walk as a run and you run as a sprint. Is Sonic.
Yeah. It's just
Yeah, it was making me feel a bit queasy watching you play it.
Yeah,
it's alright in multiplayer though, but
it's because you're concentrating.
I suppose, yeah. I sort of watch it going.
Yeah, it's like it's that thing. It's like if you're driving a car, you tend not to get motion sickness, but if you're not driving a car and you suffer from motion sickness, you get motion sickness.
Yeah, I guess
it's kind of that sort of thing. But it was fun, but it like me and my cousins kind of like bonded over it, which is why I remember it. We and whatever. It was the first game because we were all similar ages. Like my cousin Sophie's only a year younger than me. Alex is a couple of years, but I'm fucking mentally retarded anyway. So it was all right. But yeah, it was the first game we all played like as. Obviously we are family, but like it was the first game that us three sort of played together and actually enjoyed playing. Like before that, we'd play. I don't know. We'd played like Resident Evil, and we played games that are going to come up on this list. And so, like, I liked it, and my cousin Sophie liked it. Alex didn't like it, or I didn't like it, and them two liked it, or whatever. But it was the first one that we played where we all liked it, and just we could just play it for hours, literally for hours, and that's why I remember it. So yeah, that's my number 4. 3.
Right, my number 3 is one game that is in my favourite games of all time list anyway.
It'd be on a desert island list.
Yeah, desert maybe, which I think it would be. That's a list for another day anyway. Well, my number 3, I've not even mentioned what it is yet. Oh, I'm building the tension. Ooh, my number 3 is Lilac Wars or Star Fox 64 if you don't live in the PAL territories, because for some reason we couldn't have it called Star Fox. I think Star Fox was the name of some band or something, so they couldn't call it.
Yeah.
That's why we had it Starwing for the first one. Anyway, but Lilac Wars. The reason why this now I credit the Nintendo 64 as being the switch from being games were toys that I enjoyed to play every now and then to games are my life, and this is going to be what I do for the rest of my life.
Right, yeah.
And
it's a pivotal moment.
So it was going to be Mario 64. That should be the one because I was stupidly excited. But Mario 64 would have to come with the Nintendo 64, which I never thought I'd get because it was expensive.
Yes,
it was like 300 quid. I'm a child. I have no income. I get a bit of pocket money each week.
Yeah.
It would have taken me
the
rest of my life. I'd still be saving up now. Yeah. So that's why that's not on it. But Lilac Wars was the first game that I remember I ingested every little tidbit of information I could find on this game. I actually remember I had bought this magazine which came with a VHS tape, demo. It was a demo reel of games and it was on a tape.
VHS.
And I wore that bitch out because I would watch it and then up until the bit when Star Fox would come up, and then I would keep rewinding it and watching this. It was only probably about 30 seconds of Japanese gameplay, but I was sold. I was like, this is the future, and I was just so excited. And I bugged my dad like I think it came out in like October, so it would have been on the Christmas list.
Yeah.
And I bugged my dad like every day. I was like, Dad, I really want Lilac Wars. And he was like, oh, see what Santa brings you. A bit too old for Santa at that point. Well, not too old, but I didn't think I knew. I knew it was him.
You're questioning his existence.
Yeah. I was like, yeah, he might exist, but I know you're the one who has to buy it for him. So I was like, yeah, can I have like? And he was like, he'll see what Santa, or maybe, which in my dad's case meant no. Whenever he said maybe, it was no. But I don't want to say no and hurt your little feelings.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
And it'd become kind of like a thing on like Christmas and birthdays and stuff. I would generally know what a present was because they all came in those cardboard boxes that were the same size. N64, SNES. NES was kind of the similar size, but they were all this sort of same size. So you look at it and you go, "Oh, this is a video game." But or maybe a VHS tape, but you could usually tell. But actually, what is it? But there was. I think I got two more games that Christmas. It was Mario Kart 64 and Diddy Kong Racing.
Right, yep.
So I opened those and I was very thankful for it, but there was that part in the back of my head that was like, oh, I ain't got Lilac Wars. That's the one I really want. I want Lilac Wars. I need it now. I need it in my life. But I didn't realise it came in this big stupid box. This stupidly big box that it came because it had a rumble pack with it. And I opened it, and that was just my life changed forever. Lilac Wars, we'd open presents, and then I was immediately upstairs, and I was playing it. I was in heaven. I loved it so much, and it was just... I played it so much that I beat it on Boxing Day. The day after Christmas.
Yes.
If you don't know what Boxing Day is. I don't know why I'm explaining what Boxing Day is. But I beat it, and my sister watched me beat it, and she was like, oh, you've only just got it, and you finished it already. And I just looked at her and was just like, I'm going to play it again. And for the next few months, I was just playing it over and over again, trying to do all the different levels and trying to beat the different routes, because you have to do things in a certain way to go different routes and that. And it's one of the first games I mean, I didn't do everything because I didn't get all the medals because some of them were so hard, but when I finally beat Venom on a hard, that was when I was like, yeah, I'm the king, I'm the best in the world at these video games. Video games. I've still
I know what you mean though. You get that sense of accomplishment.
Yeah, yes. I've still got the high scores on my cartridge from when I played it. Then because I can tell it is because you can see like the party members that you've lost. And I'd lose Slippy and Peppy and Falco all the fucking time because they don't know what they're fucking doing. Supposed to be ace pilots, so yeah, whatever. But it's just like it was a game I learnt. I think maybe the first game I learnt. Oh, these guys are coming this way, So, and like I said, it just felt like the switch from being it from a toy to this is my life.
No, yeah, so it's a pivotal moment.
Yeah,
pivotal moment.
Do a barrel roll. So that's my number 3.
3. Right, well, my number 3 is another wholesome family game.
Oh yes,
called Tenchu Stealth Assassins for the PlayStation 1.
Yeah.
If you've never played it, check out the channel because I'm sure we're doing a Let's Play of it. So
coming soon.
Why I remember it was I used to play it with my best friend from primary school called Andrew Lynch, but I remember, which is why I remember it. But what my overriding memory of the game itself is the over-the-top violence. You've got that Japanese kind of movie blood thing when you kill somebody where it just explodes everywhere. That Quentin Tarantino seems to love.
Yeah, they're gushing.
Yeah, it's just like, it's like you've got arterial bleed even though you've got a small paper cut on a finger.
Yeah.
And whatever.
Stuck me toe.
Yeah. I always remember, obviously, the first level, because it was the first level I ever played.
Punish the merchant.
Yeah, Punish the Merchant, which, just watch the Let's Play and find out. But I always remember getting obviously you start with the grappling hook, but grappling hook onto the top of the buildings and running across the buildings and stuff like that. And I'd never played anything that did that before.
No, I can't really think of anything that.
Yeah. And
sort of sense of movement.
I didn't bother learning like the fancy moves, or I didn't even bother being stealthy. To be fair, I just remember like running across that, and I'd be able to do the first level, and then get to the second level, and I'd just get annihilated by these like guards, and then there's like a female guard that's got 2 swords, and I get annihilated. But I always enjoyed playing it. I remember once though, the only time as a child I got past the second level, we got onto the obviously the third level, but it's like a forest. I'd wander into the forest and then just get eaten by wolves. And I was like, why? Like, do you know what I mean? Fucking wolves. Do you know what I mean? But yeah, it was my first sort of experience of like ancient, and well, not ancient, but like 16th or 15th century sort of Japanese period. And
samurai,
and stuff like that, and
ninjas.
And I liked it, and I still like it to this day. It doesn't play very well, and it's very hard to play, but it's just one of them that it sticks in my mind from being a child. Like I was looking through my collection, I remember playing that game. I remember playing that. It was mint, and then you play it again, and it's not mint. But it was. I don't know. Yeah, it was one that I enjoyed to play, but I never had a proper copy. I always had a chipped copy on my chipped PlayStation.
Everyone had a chip. I mean, I didn't actually have a PlayStation when I was a kid. I got it later, but my mate had a chipped PlayStation, and my other mate had a chipped PlayStation.
Yeah, everybody has one.
And they just have like CD wallets full of games, whereas my sister had a normal PlayStation and she had like 3.
Yeah.
So it was like, just chip it, man.
It was like anybody that had a PC could basically copy games. Yeah, yeah, but it was just. I remember having it, and the disc it had like a white top that just had got Tenchu written in somebody's handwriting I didn't even know. But I just remember, but they'd gone to the trouble of printing off. I don't know if they scanned it or got it off the internet back in the day, but they'd taken the trouble of printing off the case like insert.
Oh, right.
But like really badly, like 90s first colour printer sort of thing.
Genuine fake.
Yeah, but it was just I just loved it. And I enjoyed playing it. I didn't play it a lot, to be fair, but it's one of them where I played it and I always remember that game, and I always think I should go and actually complete it, but I never have done. But yeah, so that's number 3.
2. Alright, my number 2 is a biggie. Also in my Desert Island games. It is the phenomenon that is Pokemon Red for the Game Boy.
Good choice.
Now, where to begin? So, obviously this is back in the day. Not before the internet, before my family had the internet.
Yes.
So news and everything, game related wise, I got from Nintendo Official Magazine. That was my source of everything. Maybe a couple of other ones, but that was my source of everything that I needed in my life. Because at that point it was N64 and all that. No, it wasn't N64. Anyway, whatever. I'm getting off topic. Yeah. I remember reading in my magazine, and Pokemon, because they kind of regarded it as some sort of weird Japanese game, it always got the kind of the side column. It was never like a big feature in the magazine. Not until obviously later, but it was just these little side columns. And I remember reading the one which was like, it was about the anime, but I thought it was about the game, and it was about these Japanese kids that got seizures. Because it did. The Electric Warrior Porygon episode made many a child have
died
terrible fits, and it was a horrible time, but it was
a horrible time. It was the best of times.
So I remember reading about that. So I knew what Pokemon was, or Pocket Monsters, and then there was a shop in town called Another World.
I used to buy Resident Evil figures from there.
It was a geek's paradise.
Yeah, it was, yes.
Action figures, not even action figures, figurines. It was just figures or whatever. Comics, games, books, ninja movies. Yeah. On the tippy top floor. It was like the narrowest shop ever, but it went up forever.
Yeah, like 5 floors or something, didn't it? Yeah.
And had all the graffiti on the walls going up the thing.
Yeah, like you say, it was a geek's paradise. It was.
And I remember going in several weeks. Every week, every like Saturday, my family would go into town, so I would go with them, and I'd always be like, "Can we go to Another World?" And we'd go in, and I would look, and they had this game called Pokemon Red sitting on a shelf. It was like 50 or 60 quid because it was an import copy. It was an American import copy. And I looked at it for weeks. And although you look at the back and it's shit, there's nothing on it. But the front, there's this big red dragon. Yeah. Big red dragon. And I was like, I need this game. I need it. And then some time passed. I can't remember how much time passed. But then I had enough money to buy it. And I caught the show in the morning, the anime. I saw this, and I didn't know it had an anime. Even though I should have done, because that article was about the anime. But I was a kid. I was a bit stupid. And I watched it, and it was the episode where they meet Execute and Executor. I can't quite remember the ins and outs, but Ash's Charmander evolves at the end of it into Charmeleon, and it's all like really cool. And I was like, "What is this? Is the thing that I'm going to be playing? Wow, this is great! Let's go into town. Let's go into town." So
I must have it.
I must have it. So I bought it. Bearing in mind, I didn't have a Game Boy.
Yeah.
I had a Super Game Boy. That's all I had. And on the way home, I was kind of like, wait, this is an American copy. Is it going to even work on my console? Because I know American games didn't work on them and yada yada yada, but it did, because it's Game Boy and Game Boys are amazing. And then I just played it, and I'd never actually had an experience with an RPG. I'd never played that kind of game before, where you don't have direct control over what you do. It's all about selecting menu options and all that. But I got shrunk down by the old senile old man, and I just went on this adventure. And I was just completely absorbed by this world and these little creatures that were in it, thinking Kakuna was some sort of weird badass monster because he had his little side claws out, but all he can do is harden, and he's the worst thing ever, and I used all my Pokeballs on it. But I think I got I got to the SS Anne my second day of playing it, because I was playing it non-stop, and I had a Charizard, because I just used Charmander. I didn't understand the whole catching and using things. I was like, why would I need to use anything else? I've got this guy. He's embering everything. He's amazing. With his little bullhorn that he's got on his back. But obviously I bought this before the craze had hit the UK, because the game didn't come out until the following Christmas, and this was like the summer.
Yes.
And I remember talking to my friend like on the Monday, waiting in line for lunch, I think it was, and I was like, oh, I got a new game at the weekend, it's called Pokemon. And he was like, oh, I watched that on TV. And then I was like, oh, yeah, it's a game, it's really, really good. And then it was, when the Christmas came or whatever, and everyone had Pokemon. Everything was Pokemon. Everywhere. You couldn't turn around without seeing Pikachu.
And you couldn't buy it, anyway.
Yeah, it was just... And for some weird reason, I felt like I started the entire craze. Because no one else had it, and I had already played it and sort of learnt it, and was a
You're way ahead of the game.
But then I kind of and then it was when my friends got it. Then it was like I restarted it. Excuse me, to play. Then we played. There was like 3 of us who were playing it all the time, and it was basically like, oh well, I have Charmander, you'll have Bulbasaur, you have Squirtle. So we could trade when we got the next ones, because you only had to trade and trade back, couldn't you? Yeah. Keep them and it's like, oh, and you get Jolteon, Flareon, Vaporeon, I'll pick Hitmonlee and Hitmonchan, and we would all decisively picking these certain things so we could complete our Pokédexes, and we did, and it was amazing, and it was the best time. And Pokemon now is just it's a bit. I get stupidly excited for every single thing. I ingest Pokemon, but I'll never have that same feeling of not knowing what it is, that magic of this completely new thing. And it opened me up to RPGs, which I then went through a phase of playing nothing but RPGs. I don't really like them now. Can't really be bothered because they spend so much time investing.
Yes.
Pokemon, I've always got time for Pokemon. So yeah, that's my number 2. I could talk a lot longer about Pokemon Red and the influences it had on my life, but it was a big part, a big part of my, I would say my final years of childhood. Because then it was getting into the... I was about 11 or 12 when it came out, whatever, so then, 13, getting into the teens, and that was it.
Yeah.
Pokemon forever, man.
No, I got it for Christmas that year, but I deliberately stayed away from it for this list.
Because you knew I was going to pick it.
Yeah, but I feel exactly the same. It's that nothing will ever capture that essence again. Beautiful.
He captured the hearts and minds of many children across the world. That still does to this day, but I will never have that. Yeah. And I don't actually think any game will ever have that impact on me personally.
Yeah. And the problem is now everything is through the internet and through Facebook and Instagram. Everything is you can see it months, even years before it comes out. So there's enough. Although you're playing it for the first time, you'll never truly play it for the first time because you already know what's coming up.
It kind of feels like now that you know everything about something before it happens.
You're just playing to see what fits these bits together.
Yeah.
Which
true that.
Yes.
True that. Yeah, that's my number 2.
2. Well, for my number 2. Again, another wholesome family game.
Oh yes, the most wholesome of family games.
As I said, I purposely stayed away from like Pokemon and Resident Evil because we talk about that and play that a lot anyway. So I thought I'll go for something different. But I went for the Alien trilogy.
Ooh, good wholesome fun.
Yeah, came out in 96, I think. But anyway, I remember buying it. I bought it from Donington Market. Well, I say I bought it from my dad. Bought it from Donington Market. And I remember looking at this. I didn't even know what Alien was, but I'd been told about it by a guy from school called Niall Lewis, who I think had seen the films and played the game. He was like, "You should play it. You should play it. It's like really good." So and I got it from Donington Market, and I remember looking at the cover, and I've never seen this creature before. I was like, "That looks really scary."
It is the Xenomorph.
And then,
it's terrifying. I'll flip the box out. So
and then I played it, and I think immediately got facial good and died, like within moments.
They'll do it to you.
Yeah. I remember. I think I never completed even the first level, but I think I got to like the first alien, the first Xenomorph, and that kept killing me. But I just remember playing it and being terrified. It was because I played it before Resident Evil. It was the first game I played that genuinely scared me. I remember just like I'm going to psyching myself up. I'm going to play it, and I put it in the PlayStation. I turn it on, and the FMV comes on, and I'd start like not shaking, but I like anticipating what's coming and whatnot, and,
getting ready to get scared.
But it was weird because like it didn't give me nightmares or anything like that, but it did scare me. But I kind of like that feeling of being scared. So ever since I've played horror games. Hence why I went then on to like Resident Evil, and then like Silent Hill, like Dead Space, and there's a few others I played. I can't name them off the top of my head.
Yeah. But like the survival horror kind of spoopy games.
Yeah.
I mean, certainly like Resident Evil and
what
I've seen like Dead Space. I've seen you be obsessed with them and learn everything. Even like The Last of Us is technically a spoopy game, isn't it?
Yeah.
So, and
it kicked off that thing for me of playing horror. Even though I was terrified and like I'd turn it off and not play it for weeks. I was like, oh fucking hell, I've been killed. Like, and it's all dark and foreboding. It does capture the essence of kind of Alien quite well. But then I remember going and playing like Aliens vs Predator 2. So I was like, I'd never seen Predator, but I was like, and I didn't know Aliens vs Predator existed, but I saw Aliens vs Predator 2 for PC, and I had a PC, and I was like, I should buy that and play it. So I got hold of it. I think I got my mum to buy it for me. And I remember being terrified of that as well, like playing as the Marine, and your motion trackers picking up like chains in the wind and shit. And it was terrifying, but what kicked it off was the Alien trilogy. I played like they had an Alien Resurrection game as well, which was a bit shit, but it kicked off that whole foray into sort of the survival horror sort of games. And I don't really like first person shooters, and it's a first person shooter.
Yeah, but it's a Doom first-person shooter where really you just have to aim in the general direction of where your prey is. You don't have to actually aim. I can get on with those kind of shooters, but not one.
But it was. But I think it was the first game I played as well where it was first-person. Like the whole thing was first-person. Like I played like the Die Hard trilogy, like with a light gun game, but. That's a light gun game.
They're on rails.
And it felt like it was me, and I suppose that's why I sort of, although I was scared of it, I liked it. I felt like, even though like I'd never get to the end of the first level, like I said, but every like inch that I could get further, it felt like an accomplishment because I was doing it. I wasn't controlling
it's like, what's the next bit?
Yeah.
And you wouldn't know because you're just discovering it bit by bit. In a long space of time. I mean, everyone's like speedrunning shit now straight away, but I certainly had that feeling like, because I mean, when I was a kid, I don't know if you've heard something like when you died in a game, you just then started again, straight away for the most part, unless you were scared. But like, so you'd start again. You'd learn what so then you do a bit better, and then you get to the next bit, and then you die, and then you have to start again. It was like rinse, lather, and repeat.
Yeah, and
going
every
in
time you
circles,
get a little bit
so
more.
it's a bit wider every time. Yes, that's cool.
Is it Edge of Tomorrow or whatever, that movie that's like that? Every time you die, you get a little bit further.
A little bit further, and Tom Cruise.
Yeah.
But what happened after you first played it? There was a story that accompanied it, wasn't it? Of your dear old mother.
Oh yes. The first time I played it, my mum knew I was saw the case or whatever and knew I was playing it. She was like, "Oh, you're playing like Alien Trilogy?" Like she didn't even know it existed, and I was like, "Yeah." A guy from school told me about it, and like my dad bought it, and she was kind of surprised that my dad actually buy me something. However, it was second hand from Donington Market. But then my mum was like, bear in mind, what was it, 96? I'd have been 6, 7 at the time. My mum went, "Let's go and rent the movie." Like, back in the day when you used to rent VHS films.
Good time.
And we went to Choices, and my mum just picked Aliens up off the shelf and was like, "Yeah, we're going to watch Aliens." And again, I kind of had a similar experience with that, because we were watching that, and mum was like, "Oh, I'll make pancakes." And I don't know why, it wasn't even Shrove Tuesday. I was like, alright. So I was eating pancakes, and I like pancakes with jam on.
Good choice.
And I was eating this pancake, and it got to the bit where they've gone through the nest, and the ship's coming to pick them back up.
Right.
And the guy runs in this like slime on the thing, and he's like, and the pilot's just like, "Yeah, don't worry about it, just like, we just need to get out of here," sort of thing. And anyway, it takes off, and then the woman pilot, the pilot, she's like, "Where the fuck are you?" Like, to this other bloke, and then this alien just turns around the corner and it's there, and then it like just its mouth comes out and like eats her or whatever, but it splats blood all over the wall, and then like you can see like a body like flailing about like in the blood and whatever, and it put me off my pancake because it had strawberry jam in it. And I was like, oh, and I was like, again, I was like 6, 7 years old, and I was just like, oh. And then my mum comes in, she's like, "Oh yeah, it's great, isn't it, this film?" Like, at the time, I was like, yeah, it's great, mum, like, whatever. And, I'm like 10, 11 years at the time too young for this movie.
Yep.
Do you know what I mean? So I was just, but yeah, it made me laugh. Well, it makes me laugh now. It didn't at the time. At the time, I was fucking terrified of the game and the film. But yeah, looking back on it, like, great parenting, mum.
My favourite pancake story, I think I've told you this before, was my grandpa. He was dead. He seemed dead sad. And my grandma was like, "What's up?" And he's like, "Oh, I really want some pancakes. It's not pancake day." And she just went, "I can make you pancakes whenever you want, you idiot." And he went, "Oh yeah." And then she made him some pancakes.
Yes. It's like, yes.
There you are, bonus pancake stories for you for your list.
Yeah, that was my experience of aliening as a child.
Spooky. 1. Right, number 1,
yes,
the
number
big
1.
kahuna is actually a joint entry, because we have both picked the same game, and I imagine we have picked the same game for the same reason, I think, but we should get into it. And our number 1 choice is Sonic the Hedgehog.
It is.
For the Sega Mega Drive.
The speed burning blue dude.
Yep. It's speed burning blue dude. He just ripped out my buddy's hang glider and caught a ghost.
Right. Tubular.
Whoa.
Wipeout, dude.
Oh, the Adventures of Sonic the Hedgehog. That's a list for another day. So yeah, Sonic the Hedgehog. I have picked it because it was the first game I ever played.
And I have picked it because it was the first game I've ever played.
There we go. So my first experience with Sonic the Hedgehog was I went round to my grandma's. This is on my dad's side. So both my dad's side of the family and my mum's side of the family actually had a big part of me playing video or experiencing
like
video games.
Destiny.
Yeah. Pay me to play video games. And so we walk in, and we always used to go in through the kitchen, so the back door.
Yeah.
Always used to go in because there's a gate on the side of the house. Anyway, and we'd go in the back, and sitting on top of her fridge was a portable telly. Because she had tellies everywhere. She was insane. She had to have a telly in every room or whatever. And sitting next to the telly on the fridge, it was quite a big fridge, that's why I could fit all these things in it, was a Sega Mega Drive. The big original, the Mega Drive 1.
The
big one. And sitting in that Mega Drive was Sonic the Hedgehog. And on the screen was just a paused game of Sonic in Spring Yard Zone.
Right.
So whenever I think of Sonic, or my first memory, it is that brown and purple zone, the music,
yeah,
and everything. That is. And then I was told, play it. Obviously not for long because it's my uncle's, and he was like, God, who break it? This is like HD graphics. It's the next gen graphics or whatever on the front of it.
Blast processing.
Yeah, I don't think it was like don't break it, but I played it for a bit. But it was that weird thing is that, and it's that magical thing you see with kids now as well, is that you just give them something, like electronic wise, and they instantly know what to do with it. They know everything about it. So I was running and jumping, and it all made sense. And I was just playing Sonic. And I was probably dying a lot and everything, but I was having a blast processing. And it was this new form of entertainment as well. I'd never experienced video games before, and I was just jumping. I couldn't even tie my own shoelaces.
Yeah.
I was just playing Sonic.
But Sonic, you could. I was pretty much the same.
And then Sonic was like, I mean, I am a Nintendo guy, through and through.
Yeah.
Nintendo is my love. I love everything that they do. But I used to prefer Sonic to Mario. I used to be a Sonic guy, and I used to have everything had Sonic on it. I had Sonic shirts, Sonic pajamas, Sonic socks,
was the same.
Sonic cassette
box, the lot.
Yeah, Sonic cassette box, Sonic the Hedgehog. You know, I had a cuddly Sonic which now lives in your car.
It does,
Sonic was my life. I loved him. That speed burning blue dude. And then every Sunday I used to get up early to watch The Adventures of Sonic the Hedgehog.
Watch the show.
And eat spaghetti on toast with my toast cut into squares. Oh, good times. Good times. But what was your first experience with Sonic?
My first experience with Sonic was I used to have the little box room in the house that we lived in.
I also had the box room in the house.
I can't remember why, because it was a 3-bedroom house. I had the smallest room, and I had no brothers or sisters. So we don't know why, but anyway. A little desk and a little... I don't even think it was it. No, it wasn't a combo TV. It was just a really shitty, like, 14-inch telly. Do you know what I mean? It was fucking longer than it was wide and shit. Yes. And whatnot. And
back in the day, they were huge.
Yeah, it was massive.
You could see everything. You were fine now if you're playing with something that small. You're like, it's a tablet.
Yeah, basically. You could play it better on your phone.
Yeah.
Anyway, and I had a Mega Drive, but I was bought Sonic with the Mega Drive, like it came with it. And I remember like plugging it in and playing it. Well, I didn't set it. Obviously, my mum's boyfriend at the time set it up, and I plugged it in and I started playing it, and he was watching, and I was playing it, and I was just like, this is mint. Again, die. It took me probably about 8 goes or something to get to the like end of the first level.
Yeah.
And I was just like, oh, this is mint. Like, and you can like jump and bop things. And I was like, I'd never played any video game before that, so. You know, people will go, well, yeah, well, Mario used to do it in Super Mario Bros. And I was like, but I'd never played it. No. I'd never played anything before. And it just, I don't know, I played it and I just enjoyed it. And I got this sense of, wow. And ever since then, every time I play Sonic, I always remember that feeling. And that's why, although it isn't the best game I probably ever played, it is my favourite game of all time. And I remember like getting to Dr. Badnik for the first time, and then the music comes on, and and that was like, oh, what's going on? Like, this is terrifying. It's like a 4-year-old or whatever. And I don't know, it just... But ever since... And then I remember, like, obviously, like, Sonic 2 come out, and I didn't care about anything else. Like, at the time, it was just, Sonic, give me Sonic. Give it me now.
Gotta go fast.
And then I used to stay at my dad's at a weekend, but I'd get up and I'd watch The Adventures of Sonic the Hedgehog, and then I'd go back on the Sunday night and I'd play Sonic, and it was just, I just loved it. But it kicked off that whole thing of, like, for you, actually playing video games. It didn't turn me, I would say, into a gamer, but it made me aware that this existed, and it was better than reading a book or watching a TV show. I was in control of what was happening. You know, I didn't have to follow somebody else's actions on a TV show, or I was in control of what I was doing. And then I'd watch the show and I was like, oh, he's done that on the show, like, and whatever. And for whatever reason, I'd think, there must be a way to do that in Sonic. There must be a way. Why would they lie to me? Sort of thing. And obviously you can't do that, but I remember I was trying to do stuff he did in the show on the game. And then I remember getting, like, to the marble zone, and I was like, I've killed the bad guy, like, and there's another zone, like, it goes on forever.
Yeah, when you're a young kid, well, I don't know how it is now, but when I was a young, you spend hours, days, maybe weeks trying to beat the first level in a game. Because if you weren't, like, we weren't gamers,
yeah,
right? So, and you beat the boss, you think that is the end of the game,
Yeah.
you finished it, and then it goes, here's level 2, and you're like,
yeah,
there's more? It's like Lord of the Rings and its bazillion endings. It just goes on forever.
It just goes on. And because, like I say, I'd never played anything. It was the first time I'd ever got to any sort of boss. And I was like, that's it, I've done it. And I remember this, like, feeling of, like, euphoria. Of, like, I've done it. Like, I've completed it. And then Marble Zone come on, and I was like, what? And then I was like, hey? What? But he's dead. Obviously, he flies off, and I was thinking, well, that's it. Like, he's going to come back for, like, Sonic 2, like, or whatever. And then, like, Marble Zone come on, and I was like, there's more. There's more. And I think that, like, now as well, like, I'll play something, and I'll even complete it, like, genuinely complete it, but I think, but there's more. There is more. And I think that the first experience I had of that was with Sonic. So, and when I hear Green Hill Zone music, you could have nuclear bombed the end of the street, but to me everything is right with the world.
Yep.
Everything is fine.
I love that. I can always count on you to the delurder bit. I love it every single time. But yeah, Sonic, man. Sonic.
Yeah, you know.
Like you said, there are better games.
Oh yeah,
there are better
games
in the Sonic series.
Yeah,
but it's not for me, but it's the best game of all time.
Yeah, for me, it's just, it holds that special place. And like I say, it's not the best game. It's not perfect. But that's why I love it.
He's got attitude.
Yeah.
So yeah, that is our list. That's our top 5 games from our childhood, or our top 10 games from our childhood. Because it is technically 10 because I cheated and had 2 in one slot.
Yeah, so it's technically 11.
No, it's 10. Because we both picked Sonic for number 1. So that's 9.
Oh yeah, I suppose, yeah.
Maths, man, come on. But that is our...
How to go fast.
That is our list, so thank you for watching
Yes.
us ramble on about video games. If you've enjoyed, feel free to hit that like button, subscribe to the channel if you're not already, and please leave in the comments below
your top 5.
Yeah, your top 5 childhood games, or even better, make a video and post it in the comments,
and we'll watch it.
Yeah, and we'll check. It's getting interesting. I have to thank a dude by the name of Major Sven Gaming who tagged me in the video like which was top 5 childhood games, and that was months ago. But I pitched it to you, and we've ran with it, and we've finally done it. Yay!
So we're getting there, people.
So we're getting there. So we're going to try and do more lists and talky things.
Yeah, we've got a few ideas of other games and other lists. That we want to do.
So yeah, that is it. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.
Toodles!